All right, so an update on everything and the ones that are to come that I'm seeing. So currently, AJ is doing really good. It's performing very differently from GJ at the moment, so that's interesting. Because out of my four accounts, I took AJ on two of them, and then GJ on two of them, and then Oil on the same two that I took the AJ trades on. Right, and here is GJ, kind of fighting for her life right now. Um, I thought about moving my stop, but I was like, it doesn't really make sense to do that because I mean, after price, maintained this level, I entered in a second time, so I'm still risking like just under 1% for GJ. But pretty much what I'm looking for here, right? If the 1 hour time frame ends up closing as a doji and then bullish, this trade could be saved. Um, but the reason I'm not really editing my stop loss is just because I have not seen my setup fail so far. And if it does, I mean, that's cool. One thing that I did note initially about this GJ setup was that I realized that literally, and this is what I saw after why I was really hesitant after I took the trade, because I was like, you know, I like to see a break. But then for the daily setup to even be started, I need to see this initial break of support on the daily time frame. There was no support broken on the daily time frame. If I considered my support level to be here because of this bullish candle, we had a bearish candle, and then a bullish candle. That's a respect. Bearish candle, bullish candle. That's a respect. Bearish candle, bullish candle. This level was respected the entire time. Versus AJ. If I consider this my level of support, we had a bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle. That's a clear break. It only takes two bearish candles to break an uptrend when it comes to like, just looking for a break of support. That would be the main difference if this GJ trade doesn't end up working out. Um, and I noted that, but all that means is that just redraw this because the weekly level and everything is still very good for sells. It's just I need to see the daily handle, the daily support be broken. That's the trigger that really starts the daily setup. But I kept this trade because, for example, it didn't necessarily happen here. Price maintained the whole time, but if I did something like this, then I would have been able to take advantage of that trade. So it's really just hit or miss. It's still definitely a learning process for me because this is my first time consciously using all of these tools together at this specific time frame. So I'm still figuring out what works and what doesn't. It's no surprise to me that AJ is the one that's continuing bullish, though. And this oil trade, I hope I mentioned it earlier. I think I did. See, big bearish trend. And again, the whole break of support or resistance thing to start that setup. The last place we had lower highs printing was here. And then we had boom, boom, these two bullish candles that to me initiated the start of a bearish trend. That's when you bring out your Fibonacci, swing high, swing low. And then it was in my golden zone. I had a daily candle print bearish. And so I was like, okay, cool. The 4 hour after that, I will get in accordingly. And I was very shaky about oil initially because like kind of see this level of support here. And I was like, we tapped into that. That's a double bottom. But at the same time, to me, a double bottom is something like, for example, price went bearish and it just pulled back. That's not a double bottom right there in that moment. Now, if I get the same thing happen by its side on the weekly time frame, to me, yes, that's a double bottom. Like for example, to me, what was happening all here was double bottoms because it just made a level of support and it kept rejecting. That would have been a red flag for me. But that's not what we have on oil. currently, so I am in some sells right now. Um, the big girl take profit is come on, don't be disgusting. Be good. No. 53.13. Okay, this is not where I entered. It was more like here. Don't play. But I think I would just hold to around this level of support, but we'll see. Because if a 1 to 10 is plenty, like I'm not trying to be that greedy. Also, again, I do see that level of support immediately to the left. And then if I go to the highest of high time frames, I'm seeing how this is technically a bullish setup, but that's just so zoomed out that it doesn't matter until it does. Until you see some patterns on the monthly forming and you're like, where is this coming from? Why is this happening? Then that's when you go to the highest time frames. But yeah, right now, currently in oil sells, probably gonna get stopped out of GJ buys because I did update my stop loss from here to here. So, but that's fine. It's literally a little bit less than 1% as a loss. So I don't mind that at all. AJ's flying, oil falling. Oh, okay. And now the ones that I have that I see coming up. After I see a bullish candle on Gbpnzd that happens in this area or in this area, I will be interested in taking buys. So the fib really is just it's just right here. Right, so you're a little bit past it and that's fine. But just waiting for a daily candle to close like something that looks like it makes sense. Like even here, we already have our daily support level that was broken. So that's at least I won't have the same issue with GJ. Got my liquidity levels marked up based off the weekly. And also AU just came into a really good level, that level that I was waiting for. Because on the weekly time frame, we have a level of support on the weekly, and it was broken by two bearish candles, right? So point A, point B. It's in my 50% right now. I will just be wait for daily bearish candle close. Very good. And this is not interesting to me until it comes up here. I remember I remember looking at this saying, "Oh, this is going to be a good sell. This is going to be a good sell." And it moved so quick, I could not even find an entry, so I never got into it. That was sad. So trying to learn from our mistakes. Also, UCAD, once it falls down here, I will be looking for some buys. But after a bullish, preferably engulfing. And you know what? I have been seeing a pattern. It usually taps the bottom 2 or 3 times before it heads up. Not sure why, but it makes me want to say, should I even bother getting in on the first one? Just a thought. Just a thought. I thought I was thinking. Oh, I remember now. UCAD didn't actually move until the dollar had its major move. I feel like it was here on the 17th, right? From here, UCAD 17th. Yeah, that would have allowed me to avoid these, I guess, falls buys, but I mean, they were plenty pips, but yeah. What's going on with the yen? I mean, it's still completely bearish, and then that's really all the end of the story. It's still completely bearish, period. Although, only time will tell what happens to GJ. So, but yeah, happy trading. There's going to be some good news on Wednesday, so maybe we'll see some volatility in the markets then. Happy trading.